making a lot of noise at AT&T Stadium.
Anything that moves between these lines, got to get dealt with.
They hand it to Pollard. He comes running out the right side. Deep to the post to Lamb. At the 5 to the goal line.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night is presented by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
For those in the Central Time Zone, you have another 60 minutes of a Cowboys Victory Monday underway as the Cowboys get back to their winning ways. 20-17 on Monday Night Football, taking down the Los Angeles Chargers on the West Coast at SoFi Stadium. Welcome into Cowboys Game Night, live from the Star in Frisco in the Globe Life Studios, alongside the 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time Super Bowl champ Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Yeomans. The Cowboys got back on track, and it wasn't always pretty, but it was enough to get the job done.
It was. I mean, these guys came back after that brutal beating by the 49ers, man. Like Kyle said, it wasn't pretty, but it was effective, and it won the game.
And he got the job done from the jump. The Cowboys had some physicality on the mind in this one. Lots of emotions running between these two programs. Of course, a reuniting with Kellen Moore, former offensive coordinator, and not so much of a reuniting here is Dante Fowler Jr. in a bit of a scuffle with a couple guys on the Chargers sideline prior to kickoff. Dak Prescott and company ready to go at SoFi Stadium. Following a 3-and-out from Dallas, Kellen Moore able to dial it up on their opening drive. Justin Herbert finds Keenan Allen for 6. Chargers on the board early.
Yes, he came all the way across the formation, and right there you see J-Lo just a little bit late.
Just a little bit late, 7-0 Chargers. Dallas, though, would respond. This was a big response from Dak Prescott on the read. Pulls it for 18 yards, his first rushing touchdown since week 8 of last year.
Right there, you know, that's that run option right there. As you read the defensive end, he goes down on Pollard, and he takes off 18 yards. That's that 4-3 speed.
7-7 going into the second, and it was a second quarter full of defense. More specifically, the pass rush. Both Justin Herbert and Dak Prescott in trouble and under pressure constantly throughout that second period as the defenses shine. Fast forward to the end of the period, though, Dallas was driving. Dak Prescott found Tony Pollard here on second down to dump it off. The clock stopped with a timeout with 8 seconds, or at least it would have. But Mike McCarthy wanted the clock to run down, did not take a shot at the end zone. An interesting decision, but it ends up in a Brandin Aubrey field goal. Dallas would take a 10-7 lead going into the break. Beginning at the start of the third quarter, the Chargers going for it in the red zone on 4th and 1. Play action rollout for Herbert, but Deron Bland was there for the breakup, and it forces a turnover on downs. However, Dallas could not respond offensively. Dak Prescott flushed by Morgan Fox. The sack gives it back to the Chargers. Now, later on, tied at 10, going into the fourth quarter, Dak Prescott in trouble in the red zone, fades away, and he finds Brandin Cooks for his first touchdown as a Cowboy.
Nice over-the-top pass right there. He led him where only he could get it, and nice catch, Brandin Cooks, for his first touchdown of the year.
Now, 17-10 Cowboys, third down at 11 on the next drive. Deron Bland nearly had another interception. This one might have gone for 6 as well, but it forces 4th down on the next play. The punt, this would really look like it would be routine for Kevontae Turpin. Instead, Jalen Tolbert gets backed up into Turpin. He thought Turpin made contact with the ball. Jalen Tolbert just trying to make a play, makes contact himself. Chargers recover, and they get the ball back in the red zone.
Right here, that was smart by the Chargers player to drive him into there, into Pittman there. Turpin. But, you know, you have to be aware of what's going on. He was just trying to make a play. He wasn't aware.
Yeah, it really turned the tides for the Chargers. They got the ball in the red zone, and it led to this on the goal line. A crafty play call from Kellen Moore. Justin Herbert finds Gerald Everett for 6, and we're all tied up at 17. Next drive for Dallas in need of a score. Dak Prescott flushed out again, but this time he finds C.D. Lamb, who had over 100 yards. This one sets up a 39-yard Brandin Aubrey field goal. Dallas takes a 20-17 lead, but the Chargers get the ball back. 2.5 minutes to play, no timeouts left. Here comes Micah Parsons, a huge sack down the stretch, the first sack for the Dallas defense on the night, and it puts Herbert in a hurry. Next play, Herbert hurried again, throws it over the middle. This one's intercepted by Stephon Gilmore. The veteran seals the win for Dallas.
Oh, yes, they stepped up with a lot of pressure on Herbert right there, and Gilmore read the play because he had a little safety help over the top, and he drove through the ball and made a great play to end the game.
Same final score that the Cowboys Cowboys had over the Chargers at SoFi Stadium the last time they met on the West Coast, and the Cowboys improved to 4-2 with a 20-17 win over the Chargers as they worked their way into the bye week on a high note. 250 yards passing. Dak Prescott was fantastic. We'll break down plenty more reaction from SoFi Stadium on the West Coast. When we come back with more Cowboys game night, we'll hear from Mike McCarthy next.
This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Make every day game day with Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery. Play today for your chance to win big.
Since the beginning of the 2021 season, the Dallas Cowboys are 10-1 following a loss. The Cowboys getting that 10th win in a tight one, 20-17 over the Los Angeles Chargers. Cowboys made the adjustments when necessary down the stretch to get the win. Let's hear from head coach Mike McCarthy what he had to say at the podium at SoFi Stadium.
Okay, Clarence.
Clarence Hill, four-star Telegram. What did you tell your team after this win? You just talk about the emotions of the week and then getting this.
I kind of just reiterated what we talked about today in the team meeting. Didn't say much. We felt like we've done enough talking, a lot of talking this week. So they've been quiet. They worked hard. They did a good job. I mean, this was a bumpy night. 20 penalties and the up and down this, but I just love their resilience and fight, and we came out on top.
Mike Todd Archer, the ESPN. I know it was last year's theme, but you used the word resilience. Is that what you took out of this one with how both sides of the ball were able to overcome the other team, maybe themselves a little bit, and make plays when they mattered most?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is part of the definition of a complementary football team. The offense picks up for the defense picks up for the for the offense and special teams all the way around. So there's plays that need to be made, especially down the stretch, and it was. It was a bumpy game out there. There's 20, 21 penalties called, a lot of back and forth, a lot of resetting your jaw and just keep fighting. And I thought our men did a really good job there.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Just your thoughts on the offense. Like you had some nice plays, at other times a little chunky at times.
Yeah, I'll tell you. We a lot of respect for the pass rush. We had some things inside that we didn't get going as well as we liked, but. It's we're getting there. I think the action game. They threw a lot of defense at us tonight. I think this is, as you play a team that's coming out of the bye week. That's to be expected. I thought our guys handled it. We saw a lot of pressure there in the first half, empty pressure. Man, on top of the things he normally plays. So, but yeah, it's. It's a good win, good road win. We've had 4 in a road out of 6 games. We split. We're 4-2. We're at the bye. It's been a little bit. It's been a roller coaster ride as far as how we've performed and our productivity in 6 weeks. So we get a chance to reset, reboot. Hopefully we come out of the game relatively healthy and get back at it for the Rams. But continuity and consistency is at the forefront of everything we've been focused on, and not to be negative Nelly after a win, but the pre-snap penalties it's a reoccurring issue on the road. The 4 road games that they've all been a problem. So we have to get better there. We have to resolve that because it's holding us back. And the competitive penalties you got to work through and coach through and teach through and keep working.
You can catch all of Mike McCarthy's postgame presser on DallasCowboys.com, and you can hear it there. Not always perfect from the Cowboys in the 20-17 win, but they did get the job done, and they head into the bye week on a high note. And when we come back, Brandin Cooks had a high note. He had his first career touchdown grab as a Dallas Cowboy. We'll hear from the wide receiver acquisition this offseason when we come back.
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Make every day game day with Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery. Play today for your chance to win big.
Dak Prescott found Brandin Cooks for Cooks' first touchdown reception as a Dallas Cowboy. Let's hear from the veteran wide receiver in the locker room at SoFi Stadium after the win.
Can you talk real quickly about the importance of bouncing back the way you guys did this week?
I think it's huge. It says a lot about our team, right? You take a tough loss, name the game. How do you respond? And I think we came out, had a great week, and responded well.
You got involved a lot more in this game against the Chargers. Can you talk about this kind of felt and, was there any changes made this week that kind of helped make sure that happened?
No, I think it's just the same. Like I always say, I was just trusting the process. Went out there and had a hard week of practice, worked hard, and like I always say, when the opportunity shows, I just have to take advantage of that. And, Dak trusted me tonight. I just want to keep that going.
Speaking of Dak, how important was it for him to use his legs to help extend the and make the thing work?
It was huge. Like I say, that guy can run all over the field. He can make plays with his arms and his legs. So to be able to see that tonight, was definitely huge for our team, for sure.
How good did it feel just to get in the end zone? To be able to do your celebration?
Yeah, no, it felt good. It's been a while, but, at the end of the day, the ball found me. And like I said, great throw by Dak and trusting me. So I'm thankful for sure.
How important was this to start? It was a little bit like a home game.
Yeah, oh no, huge. I always say the Cowboys fans, they're going to show up wherever we go. So to be able to go away on the road and hear them so loud, a lot of respect for Cowboy Nation for sure.
You told CD to trust the process this week, just to come out, make 7 catches.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, that's part of why I'm here, right, to be able to help lead, because obviously, he's extremely talented, but there's some things he may have not been through in his career. So talking to him, telling him just continue to trust the process, the ball's going to find him. It simply has to, because, he's one of our best playmakers.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yep, no. Yeah, no, I think it's huge. It shows a lot about our team. We didn't let one win beat us twice. One loss beat us twice. So to be able to come back, rebound, going into a bye, getting a dub, I think it was huge for sure.
So Brandin Cooks following the win, and the Cowboys, of course, going to plenty of targets. It was Brandin Cooks. It was Tony Pollard. CeeDee Lamb led the way with 7 receptions for 117 yards. What did you think about the passing game? And it looked like how Mike McCarthy opened up this offense.
Yeah, he spread it around. We saw a little deeper pass. We saw the intermediate routes, and we saw the longer routes. And we saw Brandin Cooks catch 4 targets for 4 catches, 36 yards, a touchdown, and he had a run for a jet sweep, remember, for 14 yards. So we got him going. We got CeeDee Lamb going for 117 yards, about 7 catches. So the offense opens up, and hey, it's a cool thing.
Yeah, got it done. Here's a look at the offensive stats for the Cowboys. 20 first downs. It wasn't great on 3rd down, 5 of 13 overall, but you had 342 total yards, nearly hit that century mark rushing. Probably want to see more red zone efficiency. You want to continue to move on, of course, with the ground game, and you want to be better on 3rd down. Things all that could be helped with penalties at the same time, too, like Mike McCarthy said in our last segment. But when we come back, we flip the focus to the defensive side of the football. We'll hear from Stephon Gilmore. He had a game-sealing pick and a couple other key plays as did that Cowboys secondary in the win over the Chargers. Cowboys get a 20-17 win, sealed by Stephon Gilmore with an interception at the end of the game. Let's hear from the veteran corner at the locker room following the win.
Stephon, you talk about best players coming up in the big moments. Can you take us through that last drive with Micah getting the sack and then you getting the pick?
Yeah, it was big. It was a lot of back and forth all night, just trying to keep that short-term memory. And was able to make a play at the end, and that's what big-time players do.
For road games, this is a pretty good win for your team, especially with what happened last week.
Yeah.
Tell me how significant this one was.
It was big. The more and more games you play each week, the games get bigger. They got a great football team. We was able to, make more plays than they did.
How did you feel Dak rebounded after the game he had last week?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. It ain't always going to be perfect. You got to be able to learn from your mistakes and put it behind you and get better each week.
Stephon, how different is the bye coming off a win like this as opposed to how you were feeling just a couple days ago after last week? I mean, how different does it feel now?
It feels good, you never want to go into a bye week with a loss. So, we was happy we was able to come out with a win. So, we just got to, get healthy, clean some stuff up that we don't do well, and go from there.
We know how good Justin is, and you did a good job. They didn't have very many big plays. Thoughts about how you defended their quarterback?
Yeah, he's a great quarterback. He got a strong arm. he liked to throw the ball a lot. He got some good receivers, so he was able to play tight coverage. They made some plays, we made some plays, and like I said, we made more plays than they did.
You've gone against CD and Brandin in practice a lot, just for both of them to come up the way they did.
Yeah.
I mean, how important was that for you guys?
No, those guys are great players. CD, Brandin, they work extremely hard. They tough to cover, and I'm happy they're on our team.
How's Deron Blandon playing? He almost had another pick six tonight.
He's a great player. He's super focused. He works extremely hard. He'll have a long career, a great career. Yeah.
Cool, calm, and collected. Stephon Gilmore collected that interception to seal the win for the Cowboys, 20-17. It was the defense that won the battle of the coordinators between Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore. Nate, when you looked at this defense, how they played today, wasn't always the big sacks, the big hits. I mean, they didn't have a ton of those, but they kept Justin Herbert under pressure, and ultimately it turned into a win.
Oh, yes, and after that, they got Eckler up under control, and once they did that right there, those 8 quarterback hits were the most important thing. They kept Justin Herbert uncomfortable the whole game.
Which was more impressive, the fact that they held Austin Eckler to 14 carries for 27 yards, that's under 2 yards a pop, or the way that they kept Justin Herbert out of rhythm, out of control, and forced him into some poor throws as well?
I want to say with Justin Herbert, because I was so scared of him. This guy can throw the ball from any angle, anywhere on the field. He's a gunslinger, and that's what scared me the most.
Would you say on paper, up to this point in the season, Justin Herbert was the best quarterback Dallas faced, but the best job they did at this point?
Yes, he is talented, ultra talented, 6'6", 230. This guy is a beast.
And the Cowboys slowed him down. So they got the job done in that regard. 20-17, the Cowboys forced the late interception. That was the only takeaway for the defense, but it was really all they needed because they had multiple stops in the red zone. When we come back, Nate and I will wrap this one up on Cowboys Game Night, send you into the bye week after the Cowboys get their 4th win of the 2023 season.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night was presented by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
Under the lights of SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, the Dallas Cowboys get a much-needed 20-17 win over the Los Angeles Chargers, heading into the bye week at a 4-2 record, and of course with a little bit of the right direction and rebound after that Week 5 loss against San Francisco. Wrapping things up on Cowboys Game Night with Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Yeomans. Nate, it's so much different going into a bye week at 4-2 than it would have been at 3-3. How big was this Cowboys win, and how important is the week off?
I'm telling you what, to heal their bodies. I mean, you could tell there was still some residue left from the last week. But what they need to do is make sure they study the film before they hit the road or go do whatever they're going to do with their families and friends. Take care of that right there first. Then get in the hot tub. Then do what you have to do. And don't be the local news. Please, just get through this without being the local news. I'm taking from an old cowboy. You don't want to be the local news.
Somebody clip that and put it out there because it needs to be said. Now, with that being said, which unit do you want to see the most improvement upon whenever they go into that next matchup in Week 8 against Los Angeles, the Rams this time around? I'm
going to tell you something. With Aaron Donald coming, it has to be our offensive line. We didn't play well this game, just me looking at it. We did not play well. We overcame a lot. We have to play well penalty-wise. We have to play well as a unit. We have to find some consistency in who we're trying to be so we can have bigger holes for Tony and better protection for Dak.
No such thing as an easy road win in the NFL. This, of course, being one of those not so easy road wins, but it was enough to see the Landry shift at the end. Cowboys back in the winning ways. Dak Prescott and company got the job done at SoFi Stadium. That does it for us on Cowboys Game Night. For Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Yeomans. We'll see you 2 weeks from now. Enjoy the bye week.